But while you're here, I feel obligated to all those people, particularly the film buffs, who expect me to ask you certain questions, but then you're probably tired of a lot of those.
I never answer them.
Yeah.
I never answer them, not because of general snottiness. It's just that I don't know the answers to most of the questions. You mentioned Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
And I caught him on one of your friend's shows. I guess we call him your friend.
Yes.
We don't mention that. I caught them on one of your friend's shows. In fact, he was on interminably on one of your friend's shows.
Yeah.
And I feel that what he did for Myra Breckinridge, I ought to do for Jerry Lewis. Because he really has a way of coming on as a great thinker, which should be stopped. Why I mention him, though, and I'm not going to mention him much longer, because I would hate to do for him what he did for Myra Breckinridge. Why I mention it is because he said the sort of thing that you hear from film buffs, and you don't expect to hear from Jerry Lewis. He actually said on The Tonight Show,
Yeah.
well, the secret of authenticity and complete autocracy and autonomy is autonomy and cinematic integrity. Or words to that effect. Now, those are the kind of questions that the film buffs like to ask. And then I guess Jerry Lewis answers because he teaches how to make movies in a school, among other things, I believe. That was a thought he dropped several times. And my bitterness about him stems from the fact that here's a rich fellow who has plenty other things to do except come on with that kind of dialogue. There's really too much of it.
There's
too many long words. You know there are too many long words in the world nowadays, and that the younger the people are, the longer the words are. Have you noticed that? It's a very funny thing. They have a wonderful new hip language, which is really our old Harlem language that I used to know when I was running a theater up there, with a few new phrases, and they're great and very colorful. But everything else is terribly long. Nobody says, I see a thing a certain way. They say, I envisage it. Nobody says, under 30, I would like to think up an idea. They say, I have conceived something, or this is my conception, or not, this is my relationship. Everything is 4 or 5 syllables long. Have you noticed that?
There's a veracity in what you're saying. Do you have any recurrent dreams?
I think we'll take a break.
Oh, you can play at this game. We'll be back after this game. See, that was good. I wondered, one thing I read about you that I found a little surprising was that you, check me on this, did not like solitude.
I love solitude.
Then they were wrong.
You bet. But aren't they always wrong in what they write?
I guess so. Have you been badly misquoted?
But I think everybody is, and everything. I don't think history can possibly be true. Possibly. I'll tell you why. Because we all know people who get things written about, and we know that they're lies what is written. I told a story to Buck Henry last year in Wymus, and he told the story that he thought I had told him to a newspaper that I read the other day, and it bears not the slightest resemblance to what I said. Now, that's an intelligent man, a year later, meaning me well, and that's, the gospel according to Buck Henry, and it's totally apocryphal. Imagine what nonsense everything else is.
I know. It is. Do you want to clear it up now?
About that I don't like solitude?
No, the story.
No, it isn't worth going into all that. It isn't all that good a story.
Yeah. When you were on that film... and
he made it seem. I must say he improved it. Maybe that's why it was just authorship.
History is an improved version of what happened.
No, not necessarily. Only if Buck Henry writes it, I guess.
I see. What about when you're on a film like that where somebody else is directing and they do tend to be in awe of you as much as you don't like people to be? And Mike Nichols was making that film. He said it would probably... he was worried about the fact that he would know that you working just as an actor were also thinking about the direction at the same time. How can you calm somebody down about that?
In his case, he was put at his ease almost immediately when he sensed, as he must have sensed, since he's an immensely intuitive man, that I enormously admired him. Yeah. So how could he have been anything but comfortable?
What do they mean when they say, you know, that someone said about you who'd worked with you in a film, he not only knows if he's in the shot, he knows so much about movies, he knows if he's in focus. Is this possible?
Well, I know where the camera is cutting. Mm-hmm. I know what's in the shot and what isn't from a long working acquaintanceship with lenses and the camera. You know, I'm at ease in that respect. You have to learn that if you jump back and forth. It's not all that miraculous. Sounds great, but isn't all that wonderful.
So you really can tell if you're in focus.
Yeah, and it's not that hard to do.
Yeah. Is it nitpicking or annoying when people ask specific little questions about film, like in Citizen Kane? People remember that.
It's nitpicking.
Oh. Okay.
No, sorry. Oh, that was rude. I beg your pardon. Cheap and easy gag. Finish it.
No, I'm not going to ask it now.
So.
No. I was going to say that everybody remembers, get this in, everybody remembers that one scene where you suddenly cut to a cockatoo screeching just before.
That was to wake up the audience.
It's as simple
That's
as
the entire significance of the cockatoo.
I just can't get I can't get a pretentious answer out of you. We will be back after message. Stay where you are.